is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Collector Tour, episode 9. I am here with Collecting Madness. Are you cool if I use your real name on stream?
I do not care. You
I'm
call
here with
me
Chris, aka
whatever you
Collecting
want.
Madness. Dude, I'm really excited to have you on the show. Thanks so much for coming on. It was like pretty quick turnaround. I asked you wasn't like a couple days ago, I think. So thanks so much for being here. Yeah, man. Thanks so much for being here. It's been a while since I've done an episode. It's probably been like a little bit over a month. So yeah, man, I'm really excited to have you on the show. Excited to talk about some stuff, talk about your collecting journey. But how are you doing on this fine Tuesday night?
I'm good, man. As what's his name pointed out there, I think it was some guy who said it. The FedEx guy. I missed it. But it's UPS, man. It's long days, but
Oh, you work for UPS?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh man, I got a problem with I didn't know that. I got a problem with a lost package right now that I'm dealing with, going back and forth with UPS.
Yeah, wish you knew that before you invited me.
No, it's all good, dude.
Forget that guy.
Yeah.
No, but I'm good, man, and I'm good to be here, and I'm glad you reached out. It's cool to be back on your first one coming back or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'm excited to see what's in store.
Yeah, happy to have you. The show's pretty chill. We got a bunch of people in the chat already. Hopefully these people have been anxiously awaiting for another episode. We got a lot of comments already, so we will address the chat here before we get into some questions. Just so you guys know as well, in the description below, I put Chris's stuff for Collecting Madness. YouTube and Instagram links are down in the description below for you guys to take a look at his stuff. So go follow him on Instagram, subscribe to him on YouTube. And also, Chris, congratulations on 1K, 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, man. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
It's been a slow, steady journey, but we finally got there.
Yep, that's awesome, dude. Congratulations. So we got a few folks in the chat here. We got some guy. Can't wait to see my boy's collection. You must know this guy, Chris. Some guy I feel like is everywhere. So thank you, man, for being here. Peyton 23 is in the house. Hello, everyone. Peyton, what is up, dude? We got Chris Miami. Another Chris. Miami's Nemesis is in the house. What is up, dude? He's the one that says, I need that coffee table. That coffee table is super dope. I'm sure we'll talk about it. The Jedi Knights watch is here. Hello, sir. Boop. Too sweet. Which, Chris, you probably understand what too sweet is because you're a wrestling fan.
Yep. Yeah. I do catch your Wolfpack Wednesdays when he goes on. So
yep, nice.
It's pretty cool.
Great show. Great show over on the Jedi Knights Watch channel. Graham, thank you for being here. Reverse CO here for the gas prices, baby. Let's go. Little inside joke. We won't get into it. Speaking of gas prices, Collector Joey is in the house. What is up, dude? Thank you for being here. Daniel Brancato is here. Hello, everyone. Hello, dude. Thank you so much. Boba, my dude. What is up, boss? Hey. Good old, yeah. Boba Fettuccine. Good old Spotchka's in the house. What is up, brother? Hello, all. Hello, what is up from you, sir? Let's see.
Hello, me.
Collector Joey, didn't you already do a TCT with Austin? So this is really funny. Actually, like, I know Austin, like you and Austin know each other somewhat. Yeah. So I was like, I'm pretty sure I was telling Austin, I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have, like, invite Chris onto the Collector Tour. And he was saying how, like, there was a running joke back then about how, like, you guys were the same.
Yeah, he's like, basically my doppelganger.
Dude, no lie. When I first started watching, when I first started like learning about six scale stuff and like started going on like YouTube and like Instagram and stuff, I got you guys confused 100%. I got you guys because your guys' setup looks so similar, and I think it was like more Austin's old setup. Like now his setup is different. But man, like when I first got into it, I remember like you guys looked very similar to me.
We're just a bunch of blonde bearded guys with deep offs.
Yep. So I thought
he tries to be humble, but he's the better one. He's taller and way more muscular. So.
Yeah. I thought that was funny, man. But Austin's got some muscles. Who else we got in here? Let's see. Aaliyah C. Do you know this person?
Yep. My beautiful wife.
Is that your picture down there in the corner?
I can confirm that. Yeah.
It's always nice to have a supportive, supportive wife, and that's really cool for her to tune into the show. So, Aaliyah, I hope I'm pretty sure I'm saying it right. Aaliyah.
Yeah, you are surprisingly. A lot of people butcher her name.
Would they say like Aleha or Aliha?
Aliha. Yeah, like you
Aliha.
said.
Wow.
Yeah.
Aaliyah. Yeah, I figured.
Yep. She's heard Alicia. Some people think there's an S in there.
You just see the S in there.
Yeah.
um, some guy says, "Bring out the belt." Woo! If you haven't already smashed, yeah, which one, dude? I'm jealous. Some guy says, if you haven't already, smash that like button. Yes, please hit that like button, guys. And then Action in the Box, all the way from Brazil, is here. Hello, friends. Hello to you, sir. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody in the chat, thank you all so much. Really happy to be back. I had to like put the show kind of on hiatus for a little bit because like I've been streaming on Wednesdays, doing Wolfpack Wednesdays, and then Friday I was doing like my limited show after Ahsoka where we reviewed all the Ahsoka episodes. So it was a lot, like twice a week, and working full time, had 2 young kids. It's tough to like stream 3 times a week, to be honest, live like that. So I kind of just like took a break from the show for a little while, but now that Ahsoka's over, I felt compelled to come back and continue the collector tour. So yes, and we are here. So Chris, thank you so much again for being here, and we will get to the first question here that I like to start everybody off with, and it is mini drum roll. Can you recall the moment that you knew you were going to be a collector? Just a collector in general. It doesn't have to be 6 scale. Kind of talk backstage. Like, this doesn't have to all be about 6 scale. I'm sure we'll talk about some of that stuff just in conversation, but kind of the moment you knew that like, okay, you're going to be a collector and this is something that you're going to be doing, long term.
Yeah, so I don't know if this is going to sound lame or kind of cool just because I like Star Wars. So,
we're going to get along. We're going to get along just fine then.
I would say about when I was in elementary, kind of going towards middle school, I had a buddy who had these Force Effects lightsabers, and specifically he had the Anakin one as his first one, like when the Master Replicas was just starting to do it, and I was super obsessed with it. Like that was the click right there. As soon as I saw it, wanted it, did all the YouTube research on it, like every day watching videos, begged my parents. My dad got one, which was Darth Vader's from Barnes and Nobles, which I still have. It's actually in my collection now. But yeah, that's basically how it started, was like just being a Star Wars fan and then seeing that I could actually have a lightsaber in person and swing it. And it wasn't one of those dinky ones from Walmart or whatever that
one of the retractable
breaks
ones.
So many. Yeah, like it was heavy metal, everything.
How long ago was this?
I know it's over a decade. I know that for sure.
So you like got that as like one of your first things, like one of your first like
yeah, and then it trickled down into 0.45 scale, like from going from Master Replica, trickled into the 0.45 scale Master Replica lightsabers. If anybody collects those or know what those
0.5
on my channel, but then from that I ended up finding Sideshow, and Sideshow had at the time, I think it was like 2000. I want to say 2005. So it was like a little bit after Revenge of the Sith is when I started doing. So we'll say like 2005 going to 2006, 2007 is like really when it picked up. And I'm just like, this kid didn't really have my own income, so I had to like get my parents to do it all or whatever, and just beg them. So I got the 12-inch Sideshow Anakin off eBay. I don't even remember how much I paid for it. I believe it was under $100, and at the time I thought that was like the greatest thing. I've always like more miniature things or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it started. And then as I progressed, I'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Nice. How old are you?
Right now, sometimes I forget. I'm 27.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll be 28 in December, so in a couple months.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah. I'm 31, but Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if you're talking about the prequel, so you're kind of you probably saw. Did you see the prequels in
I saw
theaters?
Phantom Menace,
Yep.
but I barely remember it. I remember having this Qui-Gon Jinn lightsaber, and his figure could attach to it, and you would like hit the button. He would like do the movements. Attack of the Clones was like my first like big movie that I like remember like super detailed and thought it was like the coolest thing, especially the opening scene of Anakin and Obi-Wan being in the elevator for the first time together, and you see like Anakin as a Jedi, so that was pretty cool. And then Revenge of the Sith is just like my core like memory. Like when I started going
Dang, yeah.
into action figures and all the little toys that they had, like the ships, and yeah, it just kind of spiraled from there.
Dude, gets me excited talking to somebody else who grew up with the prequels, like around a similar age. Yeah, it's really cool. Just want to give a quick shout out to a couple other people in the chat here. Austin is here. What is up, dude? Austin, we were talking about you. I brought up the story that I brought up to you about how I got you and Chris confused early on when I started collecting 6 scale. So thank you for being here, bro. I appreciate you tuning in. Brick Artemis is in the house. What is up, bro? Let's go. Happy to see the show is back with an awesome couple of guys. Thank you, man. Thank you for being here. My boy Cage is in the house. Up, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you are doing well, sir. Thank you. I was gonna ask you one more thing. I forget. I forget exactly what it was.
It's all good. We could always go back to it.
It will come back to me, I think, eventually. But
That happens to me way more than I would like it
yep,
to.
yep. I'll wait till if you decide to have children. Just wait to see what happens to your memory.
Yeah, man.
With that being said, is there anything else you want to add to that as far as the moment you're going to be a collector?
Not really. It's just like it's like if you're gonna be a collector, I guess just be prepared.
Yep. Be
There's a
prepared.
lot out there.
Be prepared.
Yeah.
There is, I remember what I was going to say now, because right when I asked the question again, it was right when I brought up the question again, it triggered my memory. Did you ever get into Funko Pops?
I think it was a year or two ago is when I collected my first one, and I'm still not like super big into them, because I have the whole 6 scale going on, and then basically the way I collect Funko is like if they don't have it in 6 scale, or if I don't have like some statue or figure like representation of it already, then I'll get the Funko version. Or if it doesn't even exist anywhere else and the only way to get it is Funko, then that's what I'll do.
Dude, that's a really good way to collect Funko because, man, if you go back and look at every other episode, I think everybody but maybe one or two people said I started by collecting Funko Pops. So I am relieved that you said you started collecting a lightsaber, which is just like, yeah, that'll get you hyped to start collecting some stuff. Funkos, man. That's cool.
Spun from there. I literally dive into just a little bit of everything. Like I'll have like some statue pieces or Lego pieces, lightsabers, wrestling. I mean, I'm all over the place, to be honest.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's a really cool way to collect Funko of like, well, if you can get it in the other like main things you collect, then you're not really going to get it. But if it's a Funko of a character that maybe you're not going to get in 6 scale or not going to get otherwise, like that's a cool Funko to have. I think that's a really actually.
Yeah, like me and my wife we're big on Disney, and she's actually a bigger Funko collector than I am. She has more than me, so like she really wanted the Disney princesses, so we targeted those, and they only really did Belle, and like if you consider Maleficent as like the whole Disney princess. So I have her, but I also got her in Funko as well as some of the other ones. And then we got like a Walt Disney. There's a bunch of other little ones like from Disney that we just did. Peter Pan was another one off the top of my head.
Some cool Disney stuff. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool, man. Austin says, I'll always have a soft spot for Funkos. And also, huge shout out to my twin, Collecting Madness Chris, with heart face emoji and a heart.
Shout out.
Christian Cooper's in the house. What's good, Sneaker? What is up, bro? Hey, I just want to say, Christian, I'm pretty sure it was you who's been looking for a light side Anakin, and I'm pretty sure you got it. So I want to say congratulations to you, man. I know you were in a lot of streams like
Congrats, dude.
asking questions about light side Anakin. Great figure.
I got a lot to say about him later too. So.
And then Reese is in the house, a fellow Wisconsinite, the mall fiend, as I like to call him. What's up, nerds? What is up, bro? Thank you so much for being here. Okay, chat, if you would, please ask your questions for Chris here. I will try to get to some of them. I like to pull questions from chat as we go along here. So chat, if you have any specific questions, please send them our way here as we go. But with that being said, second question here. Can you tell a story of one of your most memorable collecting moments?
So this is where we were talking backstage and I was trying to see if it had to relate to six scale. It's actually like not for some reason, and I'm super attached to this piece. And it's going to be troubling, like whether I want to part with it eventually because I do want to upgrade it. But I have this belt. It's a WWE belt, and one of my core memories is like always watching wrestling, like with my father. Like I was a huge Rock fan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, like all of them. And
Yeah.
I used to get on my grandma's walker. She had a stroke. Sorry to get kind of down there.
Down to bring it right back up to the wrestling. This, you know what? This sounds like a literal wrestling work right now. Like,
Yeah.
just
just have a sad moment there for a sec. But I promise it gets better. And I used to like literally stand on her wall and pretend like I was the Rock, throw my hand up, do whatever. And I found out they did these belts same way I was researching like the lightsabers and stuff. I found out that they did the belts, and I forget what I did to save up part of the money for it, but it's a kid-sized replica of the John Cena spinner belt, and I wanted it so bad. I asked her to help me. She ended up helping me, and I came up with the other part of the money. But I don't remember how I came up with the other half of the money, but I'll always be thankful that on my birthday it was surprised to me with it, and I still have it, still a cool piece. But the reason I say is like it's gonna suck if I have to part with it because I do want the adult size to go with my collection, and I don't know, I may just keep it in a closet somewhere and
you got to
pass
keep it,
it
bro.
down to my future kid just for that memory. But my grandmother was somebody who like helped raise me, and like the fact that she has a piece and it's still around here in the collection, like I'll always remember that. So for some reason, every time I'm talking to somebody about it, that's like the one thing that sticks out because I have it in here. That and then my dad's lightsaber, like I said.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome, man. What a great story. Grandma.
Yeah, I got a lot of kind of memorable pieces like that. Like as soon as I said that, I get flooded with like more stuff. Like I have a helmet that my dad got when he was a kid that was passed down from his father. I'm an Eagles fan, so sorry if I offend anybody there. And then there's the original 32 mini helmets. I got these mini Riddle helmets before they really started going crazy with them. And it's an original set. I can't even find it anymore on the internet, so
that's
I have
no
no clue
like
if it's
not
worth
easy to
anything.
Get. Yeah.
But yeah, it came with an acrylic case. It was sold as a set, all 32 helmets, and then the acrylic case.
Dang, man, that is so cool. Yeah, I don't have like. I'm trying to think if I had any any collectibles or toys or anything like. I don't think I really got anything passed down to me, you know, which is just really cool. That's a very cool story. So thank you for sharing.
It just happened that I had like a bedroom and I just kind of stuck these knickknacks in it. And that was my way of like decorating my bedroom, whether it was like a poster. I was just like always a super sentimental, like if you gifted me something, I kept it. Like me and my wife met as kids and like I still have bracelets that she gave me when we were kids. So it's like stuff like that I just hold on to, and then the stuff that actually is collectible ended up in here.
Yeah, man, that's really cool. Love it. Collector Joey has a problem with the Eagles because he's a Cowboys fan.
All I know is he can't say anything in the comments today until we take an L because we are 5-0.
Ooh, 5-0, baby. Joey, what you got to say, man? Christian Cooper says the lightsabers is what started it for him as far as collecting goes. Another, that's crazy, man. Everybody says Funkos. Zio says shot every time they say Funko. Because
Yeah,
seriously, everybody
I
else on the
always
show is
hear
talking about
Funko
Funkos.
or like you said, Black Series.
Yeah, Black Series or Marvel Legends is another really, really common one. But yes. Cage says I prefer the rated R spinner belt, but still a good choice. Cage is a
I actually
really,
have
really
that
big.
in the mini series that WWE Shop does. I have it. It's
I need to
basically
get
like a
me.
huge wristwatch.
I need to get me when I like looking in your background, yeah, it makes me want to I need to get myself a title for the collection here somewhere, put it
Dude,
above my desk.
they make. I'll give you a piece of advice for it. They make what's called the commemorative edition, which is basically a plastic version of the belt. So you get the look of it in your display, and people, far away or video can be like, cool if they see it in person, cool, but you don't get the feel. As soon as you feel one of these replica mans, you get not only the look but the weight too. It makes it so much more worth for the money.
God.
Like holding it every time somebody holds it, it's like they don't expect it. Like they weigh 10 pounds at least or more. I know the spinner belt's the heaviest one at like 11 pounds, and
Damn,
then
that is a heavy.
yeah, and then the universal is 10 pounds, and I believe the big gold is a little bit under that.
That's what
Yeah,
Cage wants. I want big gold.
yeah.
Dang man, that's cool. Guess we gotta stop talking about the titles now, title belts, because I want one. I want one
It's
more and
about the
more.
price of a figure, so if
I
you're
know
willing to
that's the
part,
thing is I'm like, well, if I could get that instead of a figure, I guess. But like, and like I've been a wrestling fan. I wanted to get to this question because off of that Cage said, not that comment, but when did you first start watching wrestling?
oh man, I don't even know if I really.
Dude, that doesn't have to
Uh,
be perfect, but do you have like, did you watch
I want
Attitude
to say,
Era?
I was gonna say Attitude like early 2000s. I
Yeah.
remember still seeing The Rock wrestle, and I think it was towards the top, like when he was like super popular. Um, I remember all the matches between uh, Christian, Edge, the Dudley Boys,
Oh yeah,
like all those
TLC
crazy, and the
matches.
Hardys. Oh my gosh, TLC was. I used to have all those DVDs and stuff. So that's about it.
Hell
Like
yeah.
top of the '90s, early
Yeah. So basically,
2000s.
yeah. Yep. We watch probably a lot of the same stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah, man. Love it. Love it. Reese says, talk about posing. So every time Reese always asks a question like, how do you, like, are you, like, do you have any tips for posing? What type of posing do you do? Do you want to tackle that one here quick?
Yeah, so I was gonna mention a little bit of it later as well, and I'll come back around to it too. But when I pose, I guess like I'm not a great poser, but I think I'm okay. Like I'm good. I feel like when I look at it, it looks pretty passable. Um, and my brother, believe it or not, he's with his figures kind of taught me a little bit about it because my brother's like a stickler for posing. He's one of
Mm.
those like keyboard warriors if it looks off or whatever. Um, but I think the biggest piece of advice he gave me is like if you take a look at yourself and do the pose, try to replicate that. Like by looking at a picture or something like that, and then match it to that. You just want to look as like I don't know how to describe like as if you would do it. Like if you can do it, obviously, if it's somebody doing a flip, then I don't know if you could do a flip. But kind of going on a tangent, it's one of those things where you can turn the fabric of hands, like all those little things, the way the head's looking, can make a figure come to life. Especially if he's got like a expression on his face or if the eyes are movable, that can all like bring it to life. What accessories you're using. I think the way the clothes are flowing, if they have wires in them, like you just want to have stuff flowing if you're trying to do like a wind swept pose or whatever, you want to have it going. What would it do in the
Yeah.
wind? With those questions, and then the biggest one I think, especially walking poses, they're super simple and they almost look like one of the best poses I think is when you get like a dynamic walk, and it's always the key to those is having the arm going forward and the opposite leg going behind. So it's almost like asymmetrical, and that's what creates that illusion.
Yeah. Yeah. You can, it's crazy how like little tiny, like you mentioned, like tweaking the clothes. Like if you just do like, even like sometimes you just like move the shirt, like the sleeve a certain way, like you can get a whole different look, like
Yeah.
and vibe from the figure. So I feel like that's something I've tried to get better at too. It's tough. It's tough. But that was good. A good breakdown there. Austin says, Chris, how do you navigate being a content creator? How do you come up with ideas? How do you manage your time? How do you keep it fun? This is a loaded multiple questions, but you want to just
Holy
maybe
cow.
give your best shot at answering, kind of summon these all up into one
Yeah,
thing here.
navigating as a content creator has honestly, once since I started, has been super super interesting. And I will say the most negative part about it is having to wait to open something. Like if I'm most of
Mm.
my stuff on my channel is review based, and I always try to give my reaction on camera so it feels more genuine, like whether I'm excited or disappointed. So that's what I try to go based on. Um, but yeah, it definitely sucks. Like if I get a figure in here after I just did one, and then it has to sit a week or whatever, because I try to do one a week, and that's usually my schedule is trying to fit it in after I get off work, and then finding time to spend with the wife and stuff like that. So I honestly, I wing it. I'm gonna be straight up honest. Like I try to have a schedule, and sometimes it fails just because UPS is so crazy. I just end up saying, "All right, I have a little bit of downtime here, and that's what I'll do."
Yeah.
Is as far as ideas, I just have a system kind of right now where it's basically the same thing that I do through my videos. So there's nothing really too crazy I get creative with, other than if it's a bigger box that won't fit in a light box, or uh, if it's a helmet, a Lego piece, like those are, I have to get a little bit different. But other than that, it's not too bad. I got it down to a science, at least I think. And I think there's always room for improvement. I'm always critiquing myself, and hopefully it gets better from here on out.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool, man. It's good to try to have some consistency, but it's tough. Tough when you work
Yeah,
and but
yeah.
yeah, very
Oh, and
cool.
my cats, I have two cats. I know Austin's also a cat daddy, so
Cat
that's how
daddy.
that's that's literally
God,
how
you
I
guys
keep it
literally are
fun right
twins.
there. That's how I keep it fun right there. If you got those
uh
little guys running around,
yeah, nice, nice. Austin says you do an amazing job. I'm a big fan. Me as well. Me
appreciate
as
that,
well.
man.
Um let's see. We got some, oh man, people ask like a lot of questions. Miami's Nemesis says, "What's your favorite and hardest figure you've acquired?" It's a good. That's a good, interesting one.
Does it have to be one and the same? Because I
Not
have two.
necessarily. Maybe we're going to talk about your
I
favorite. So
guess I
maybe
guess
answer.
it's saying what's your favorite and then what's
Yeah,
your
we're going to
hard.
talk about
Like,
like your favorite, like your tops. So maybe save that because we're going to bring that question up. But what's the hardest
okay.
figure? What's the hardest one you've had to like the hardest one for you to get?
Honestly, I think I spent the most time trying to get Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan, and that kind of
Mm,
fell into my lap, to be honest. I was at the
nice.
time I was like, okay, I have the money for Anakin, and he just popped up on a thread for a decent price, and I was always looking for the deluxe version with the base, because I really wanted that base.
Hmm.
And I'm always a guy of like, deluxe, go big or go home. That's just me. And
Me too.
it ended up being the deluxe version. And previously, I had bought um, a base separately that didn't work anymore, but I was able to open it up and like resolder the wires. I fixed it.
Damn.
Long story short, I ended up getting the deluxe looking for Anakin, and then I just gave my brother the base because he had the regular Obi-Wan.
Oh,
So
dope,
that
dude.
was probably my hardest one is Obi-Wan. I wanted him for so long, and then when I stopped looking and was like, okay, I'll get an Anakin, I was like, I was supposed to buy an Anakin and ended up with Obi-Wan.
Dude, Obi-Wan the GOAT is my favorite Star Wars
Yeah.
character.
Oh, really?
Yep, yep. Yeah, this is a good question. Hardest figure for me was like that. Actually, the hardest I have yet to acquire, Tarkin Vader 2-pack. It's okay. I'll get it at a decent price
It's an
at some point.
expensive one,
Yep,
too.
yep. I'm waiting for a good price on that one. I'll get it at some point.
I don't know if my brother sold his yet or if he did, but if he hasn't, I will let you know and
Oh,
see
is
if
he
he can.
selling? He's selling his stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's getting into one to one. So, like, he's
Oh,
completely
dude.
sold off, like, most of his
If he's got a Tarkin
collectible.
Vader, man.
He does, but I have no clue if he sold it yet. So I'll
Oh, you
ask
got to
him.
let me know. Might be onto something.
Yeah, and he will hook you. He will hook you up because I said so.
Ooh, man. Wow, we're gonna be
Yeah,
talking. We'll be talking
like
backstage
he's
after this.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I'll ask him for sure.
yeah,
I
man.
don't
Let
want to
me
get your hopes
know.
up because I don't
It's
know.
fine.
But
It's
like,
fine. I'm
but
pretty. I'm
but if
pretty.
it's there, man,
I'm
you'll
pretty
get it
patient
for
when it
sure.
comes to waiting for figures, so I'll wait as long as I need to, even if it doesn't pan out. So it's totally
Yeah.
fine. But I
I'm a
appreciate it,
sucker
man.
for 2 packs as well.
Yeah, 2-packs are really cool. I wish they would do another Star Wars 2-pack in the future at some point.
I know.
Yep, yep. Let's see here. Some guy says, "Who's the GOAT? Flair, Hogan, Hitman, or the Stinger?" I would
Out of
put. I
that
wouldn't. I
group,
wouldn't
I'm gonna
name.
go Flair.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say the. For me, the GOAT is probably Stone Cold, man. For me, like from that from what I grew up with, I'd probably say Stone Cold.
Yeah, I mean that's why I say out of that group, like
Yeah.
I just give, and I'm giving Flair the edge not only because he was like the father of us, at least in my opinion, and especially with all the championships, like, and he still holds that record. They don't give my boy Cena another one. Like, come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, I'm gonna give it to Flair. He introduced a lot of moves, and I don't know for that time, but definitely entertaining is like Rock and Stone Cold are kind of tied for me.
Yeah.
I see why you give it to Stone Cold. Like he's definitely,
Love Stone Cold, man.
yeah. How can you
Love
not?
Stone Cold.
It ain't the same. It's nothing like it was,
Yep.
man.
Yep. Um, Austin says Steve is like me, patient collectors. Let's see here. We got a couple more questions, then we'll move on to the next one. Oh yeah, Johnny. What is up, Johnny? Thank you for being here. Appreciate you tuning in. Hey, Sneaker, will you be getting the Jazzing Jedi Starfighter? I will not be. That price is real steep.
It's like 4 grand before shipping if you want
It's
both of them.
yeah, if you want both. So like, what are they? 18.99 before shipping. So you're looking at
Yeah,
what? Those got to be what, $300 to ship probably.
yeah,
You'd probably know better than, I mean, you'd probably know much better than me as far as something like that goes. But I don't really have any vehicles that are that level, like that size. I have like the Bark Speeders. Um,
yeah.
yeah, Jazz Inc. I don't know. I don't know if I would consider spending that much on a vehicle. That's a lot of figures you can get for that price. Like it'd have to be a vehicle that I really, really, really want in order to drop. And like just considering dropping that amount of money on one piece is a hard, like that's a lot of an annual budget for to drop, like
Yeah.
when there's so much stuff coming out that I want to get and everything. So
Here's the thing that kind of sucked with that. Like I wanted Hot Toys to do it when they teased it, and like I've been desperately waiting, just in hopes that they eventually do. And then when I heard Jazz Inc. was going to do it, I was like, cool. I'm excited. Let me see. I know it's going to be expensive. And then he came out with it. And the problem is, not only did he do Anakin's, but he did Obi-Wan's.
mhm.
And now I feel this compelled thing where I do want it, but knowing the second one's out there is going to bug me. And I don't want to do that to myself. And I definitely don't want to pay the price tag for two of them.
No,
So,
I don't
so
even
I'm
know what
just
one
like
I would
staying
like.
out of it for
Yeah,
now.
that'd be like a tough choice between those two. Aaliyah says, "What's your dream collectible you want in your collection and why?" This sounds like a Christmas question for Christmas coming up.
Nobody will ever be
I'm
able
just,
to
I'm just,
afford it.
I'm just messing. Yeah. Do you have like a dream collectible?
um, I don't even know. Instantly, I think of two things. I think of something Terminator related, and I think of Turbo Man for some reason because I got a little Walmart. If they call it a Walmart exclusive, if you even want to call it exclusive, it's a little Turbo Man figure or whatever. But Terminator, I just keep going back to like I would want something 1-to-1,
Yeah, me too. I was
like
gonna say life
like
size
that.
comes to mind when I think of like a dream
Yeah,
collectible.
yeah, like a 1-to-1 um, endoskeleton. I've seen Sideshow do. I would love to have that. Um, that Hulkbuster, whoever did it, that'd be pretty cool to have in your front lawn.
Damn.
And then my comic
That
shop
would
has
be
a
huge.
1-to-1 Hulk in their
Wow.
comic shop, and that's pretty cool. And he said it's for sale for the right price. So if I ever hit the lottery, I've already known where I'm going for it.
Wow, damn.
But yeah,
That's cool. I feel like I
I've
probably want
never.
like sorry, go ahead.
No, you, and
I
then
was
I'll
just gonna
touch on
say
it.
like life size. I feel like something that'd be really cool is like Kenobi Vader would be such a cool life size
Oh
one
my
to one.
gosh.
Like with the
Yeah,
battle damaged helmet. Like if they took the 6 scale one that's coming out and you made that life size, ooh, that'd be so that would be so cool. Um,
yeah, man. Yeah, it would
yes.
definitely have to be something life size, like you said.
Yep.
I think I agree on that.
Yep. Yeah, life size would be very cool. Thank you, chat, for all those questions. We will get to the next question because we still got quite a bit to get through here. But appreciate all those questions. Those are good ones. Very good ones. Keep them coming. So this next one here, what is your collecting philosophy? How do you navigate the hobby? So right now, like I tell people every time I ask this question, like it's a really interesting time, especially 6 scale right now because of how the
Mhm.
market is and all the fluctuation and just like a lot of stuff sitting, a lot of people getting out and selling stuff for really low prices. So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on kind of all that stuff and how do you navigate what's kind of the hobby? And you can speak to some of that stuff if you want. But yeah,
My big collecting philosophy is have fun with it. Literally, just enjoy the journey that you're on, putting all these pieces. Because over time, as you look back, then you can like kind of reflect, and those are what build the memories as well. You can look at it, you can tell a story. Um, they're like bring nostalgia. So I just say enjoy the journey, don't rush. I try not to buy into the hype of anything, especially if it's new. I kind of give myself time to think if I really want it in the collection. Like if anything's in here, it's because I thought about it and I really wanted it or had a plan for it or wanted to build something with.
smart.
Like, and then as far as navigating the hobby, I think like you and Austin said, I probably fit in that group. I'm kind of patient. I don't think I have to have it right then and there. If it sells out uh, on a site, I know sometimes I can get it at my shop. And if I miss it
Oh,
at my
nice.
shop, I'll just have to chase it. And sometimes that's the fun part is the chase and trying to find a deal on it, um, and moving pieces around. Maybe to try and get it or other things that are in your collection you can fund to. Like I've also always said, there's this guy on there who says it all the time, but it's true. If you've seen his ads, he's like, "Let the hobby fund itself," but it's basically true. You like have your collection fund your collection. And that doesn't have to be all the time, but when it happens, it's nice and it's
Yeah, for
always there.
sure.
So yeah, I just because I'm so diverse and all this other stuff, I kind of just like plan out, and then Christmases or whatever, that stuff comes around. If it's small enough, you can push it to other people if you have those people in your life, and anything helps, like gift cards, whatever, and you just do it over time. So that's like
Yep.
my biggest thing with navigating it.
Yeah, I feel like I like there's some ones like going backwards is the part where I probably am the most patient because like I said, Target Invader 2 pack something I want to get. The ones that
Hmm.
there's still some like older figures that I want to get, but it's just like yeah, being really patient, trying to wait for deals. Well, deals to some extent. You got to be careful going backwards, as everybody says, but yeah, great answer, man. Austin says a life-size mall sounds pretty cool because he has one. Steve had his collection, fund his collection. Yes, Chris, we were talking backstage about like the majority of my collection has been funded by selling all my Black Series stuff. So I don't fund my collection with my collection as much now because a lot of stuff I want to keep, but I still do. There's some stuff I still like. I have some stuff up on eBay right now that I'm trying to get rid of. There's always things that you can sell. You know what I mean? Like I have a lot of
Right.
different like video game stuff, just different collectibles to try to like if something pops up, I kind of evaluate my situation of things that I have or like, do I really need this? This has been sitting in this drawer for how long now? Like just various things. So I try to
Yeah.
do that. Try to do that when I can.
Yeah, and
Um,
I'm on Macari and stuff too. Like literally, I mean, anything laying around the house, like shoes, shirt, like
yeah, you
just
can
stuff
just put it
you
on there.
don't do. I used to be in jewelry. I sold a lot of jewelry for some of the stuff that I got. Like it just anything that has just been sitting or you're not
Yep.
using, like I've done that as well. So
Yep. Yeah. Don't limit it to, don't limit it just to your collection. There's other stuff that you can, that you can
mhm.
sell to fund it too if you really want to. There's always stuff you can sell.
Yeah, always.
Uh,
And
yeah.
I've always said to my wife too, like every time she wants to get rid of something, I was like, well, let's try selling it first. And it's like another man's trash is another person's treasure or whatever.
Yep. 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 100%. Eric is in the house. What is up, dude? He says, "What's up, everyone? Happy you're here, man. Appreciate you tuning into the show." Miami's Nemesis says, "What's a good price for that 2-pack?" He's talking about Tarkin Vader. I mean, I guess it's kind of subjective as far as what you would think is a good price. It's going for. I mean, I see most of them. I see are like
I've
above.
seen going like,
You can go ahead.
I was going to let you finish. I
I
didn't
was
mean
just
to
gonna
cut
say
in.
usually the most like the if you go on eBay and you're looking on like secondary like on that like I see 750 like 7, but I feel like anytime anybody that's below 7 is there's something wrong with it. A
Hmm.
lot of the one of the common things is like that little glue stain because the jacket pops up and then people super glue it back down and it leaks through his outfit. I'm not buying one that has that problem. I'm just not doing it. People always like, yeah, you got to be really careful with what you super glue because it can stain stuff and it doesn't bond. And sometimes it strips the paint like right off some of the plastic and stuff. So you just got
Yeah.
to be, but yeah, that's one of the things that's like, if it's under $600, you can bet it probably has damage. I feel like, so we'll see. We'll see. Trying to find
I think
a deal
fabric
there.
glue or something would probably be better if you're
Yeah,
using
fabric
like
glue.
if
Yep.
it's
Or like
doing.
some people have just taken like for that little pieces, like they just put a little like double-sided tape is another thing.
Hmm. Yeah.
Double-sided tape or just like a piece of tack or something that'll stick. Like I wouldn't put any yeah, I get kind of I've used super glue on a couple things, but usually it's stuff that, is I know is not gonna mess it up. Um,
Right.
but yes, yes. Tarkin Vader. One day, baby, I'll get it.
You got it on the
um,
dream board written on
got
the
it on the
bathroom
dream.
mirror,
That
everything.
is probably the uh Tarkin Vader is probably the number one set right now that like going backwards that I'm trying to
You got
get at some
other
point.
A New Hope stuff? You got like the rest of it?
Yeah, I want to get like the Jawa and the Gonk, like the 2-pack.
I wish it wasn't so
Yeah, I
expensive
know.
though
Yeah,
for
that's
that little
another
thing.
set. That's another set I would like to get. I'm trying to think what
Same.
else. New Hope. Stormtrooper 2-pack is another one I'd like to get. But
Hmm.
there's so many troopers and like just to spend that much on a couple troopers at this point, not really.
Right.
So it would have to be a um pretty good deal. Daniel says I've used double-sided tape for my Django belt. Yeah, it's a good. That's a really good way to do it. Yes, Zio says Carnage. So Carnage is a. Do you have Carnage?
Yes.
So
Yeah, you can
damn
see his
you.
little tendril kind of
No. Oh,
poking
sorry.
out.
You're like blocked off by my camera partially. I can see it in the top corner. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So, he's probably the one that I want that's non Star Wars related is
Hmm.
Carnage. He's probably the other like really high up there one that I want to get.
Gosh, dude.
Him and then the Batman is the next like DC.
I
There's some
will tell
DC
you,
stuff I want to get.
I will tell you what's crazy is out of everything in here for some reason, and it's probably because of all the tendrils, everybody just gravitates to him. Like he's so massive, so
Yeah.
detailed. And like
Ugh.
I have the sculpt with his mouth open and the tongue out. So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, when I went to Brick's house, Brick Artemis, I saw his like held it in hand and stuff. I did not understand the scope of and the size of that figure in
Yeah,
person compared to what I was seeing. Like, and I should have known
those
like, well,
joints
this
aren't
is a
bad in person either.
yeah. I was like, I should yeah. The joints aren't as bad. I know some people are like, oh, they got like you can like expose joints, but like the figure's so good, you don't really like notice it all that much. You don't really
Yeah,
look at it, but
posed up.
man, that figure in person was crazy. I should have known, like, I mean, obviously, like when you scale it to other things, it's going to be bigger, but I didn't think
Mhm.
it was like that big. But damn, yeah, very, very cool figure. See, yeah, we'll see one day. One day, maybe somebody will buy it for me. Peyton says you can't go wrong with troopers. I'm a sucker for troopers. Love me some troopers. I have a lot of them in the
Yeah, my
collection.
buddy's waiting to see if they both drop eventually, like in price or hit like a bargain bin thing.
Yeah,
I
Carnage and Venom.
unfortunately paid retail for both Venom. I got the first Venom that they did, and then got the Carnage Deluxe. So I have the Eddie Brock sculpt or whatever there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'll
Yeah,
get. I'll get the deluxe as well. Then I eventually get Venom. But those two as a pair are just really expensive. So they're on my list. They're on my
yeah,
list. They are on my list at some point. So enough about me and talking about my most wanted figures. I can't escape Carnage. I always tell people like for the first month or like when he came out when he was released like a month straight, every time I went on social media, all I saw was it was my phone 100% was listening to me. Carnage would be the first thing that popped up every single time. YouTube, Carnage short. YouTube, Carnage review video. Just could not escape it for like a straight
wow.
month. So now it's become a running joke. One day. Um, with we were talking about some figures, so we'll get into the next question here. Like, do you have a top three? You don't have to necessarily have like top three, but if you do, you could share them. And then, do you have like an actual number one piece in your collection? That's something that would be really hard for me to answer. But do you have a number one?
Yeah, it's hard for me too, but I was asked this the other night when I had friends over, and I answered it so quick. So that's how I know it's true to my heart, and it is my light side Anakin, my Hot Toys Anakin, just because I went from that sideshow one, the little rinky dink. Like I don't even know if you know those or know what it looks like.
I don't
Um,
know. I don't think so. I'd have to look.
man, it looks like a Barbie doll, to be honest.
It looks
But
like a what? What'd you
Sideshow
say?
did it like a Barbie doll.
Oh,
Yeah, and Sideshow did it back in like 2005
oh,
ish,
okay.
something like that. So when they were doing all the Star Wars figures and Hot Toys was just coming up, barely known, and like in 2015, 2018, like going through that time, my brother looking up Anakin costume because he sews and has like a one-to-one cosplay of the Anakin. Long story short, he came across the Hot Toys one and he bought it when it was retailed or whatever. And he showed me, and I still had the Anakin one at the time. I was like, that doesn't. I mean, it looks cool. It looks way better than mine, but I don't need to spend that much on a
Yeah.
figure. At the time, I didn't have any of these. And then he sent me the Sith one, which I regret to this day. I don't have that one. That's a chase one for me. Is Dark Side Anakin, but he he was like, "Here's this one. You've always wanted the Dark Side one because Sideshow had it back in the day, and I never bought it." And I was like, two something when it was in stock, and I was like, "Ain't no way I'm paying that." And then he brings them home once he got out of the Marines and started showing me, and I just fell in love with them. Like the details so much better, and that also started the
Yeah, dude.
spiral. It's a 6 scale, but yeah, Anakin for sure is my number one. As far as my top three though, that's really hard to pick. Um, I like the more detailed pieces. Funny enough, like before I knew your Carnage thing, I was gonna say Carnage because of
Yeah.
how detailed he is. And then somebody like a Marty from Back to the Future. I love all the layers of clothes and stuff like that. So I love looking at that one. Yeah,
Did
it's
you
it's it's hard for me to pick.
it's so hard to pick, especially when you have a lot of figures. Um, did you try for artisan Anakin?
I did. I did not get it, and I wasn't willing to pay over what it was going for
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
But once it comes out and people are probably selling or I'll see what happens. You know, maybe I get one down the line, but I'm not stressing about it because I do
Yeah.
have that one.
Yeah. I feel like the sculpted one is still so good.
Yeah, I also unfortunately have the Karen Anakin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it
What is
just
that, like
sits
the
there with the
chosen
hood
one?
on.
Is it like the chosen
Yeah,
one?
yeah. I have the dark side sculpt on it, and it sits with the hood on. It's right there, so you never have to see its hair. Yeah,
Just keep the hood up.
yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Nice. Good list. Yeah, light side Anakin, great figure. Great figure, man. Let's see if there's any other questions here in the chat. There was one that let's get to this comment here from Zio. Marty is the one figure I can always have on my desk. So simple, with the layers of that figure are cool. Yeah, I haven't seen that figure in person ever, but very cool. Daniel Brancato says, we talked about cases a little bit kind of backstage too, but have you considered switching at all to module cases, or do you feel like you're going to stick with DTOFs for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, I'm definitely sticking with DTOS for the foreseeable future. I don't know what I'm gonna do when I run out of space here. I mean, me and my wife do plan on um, upgrading to a bigger space, and then you know, maybe something with a basement, and then that way I can take over and expand that way. I know the next, like, when we do want to get out of here, that is one of my requirements. Like, I just have to have a bigger space just because of all of this. Um, I thought about it a little bit, like it popped in my head, but then I just would miss the cleanliness and like the light. Like, I just think it looks more museum esque to me.
Yeah.
Uh, and I kind of get the both of best worlds. The holy crap, I can't speak. The best of both worlds because my buddy has like the garage shelves and my brother has it. So if I ever want to see something similar to those, though it's not Maju Case or Maju Space, I still can get that feel from their collection. So I
Yeah.
feel like I'm satisfied in that way.
I think too, like, it looks like you have a lot of variation as far as like what types of figures you have. So like for me, I collect a lot of Star Wars, you know what I mean? So like Maju cases, you can like, I feel like I have these different like themed cases for Star Wars. So that's really nice when you can kind of clump them all together like that.
Yeah,
But DTOFs,
like
yeah, go ahead.
like a movie poster esque
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yep. Yep. So if you like, I really love DTOFs for that. Like if I had more variety and it was like I had a lot of one-off characters, I would probably want them. Well, I should say like they would just look really good in DTOFs because then you can obviously put them like you have them individual figures and really highlight each one. I think that's really, really cool. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to like, I feel like if I did have the amount of space like you have in yours, like when I look at it, all I want to do is like just build a diorama scene. I've seen some people do that before where like you just completely build it out, and I just know that would be another like hole in my pocket to burn to try and do different stuff.
And
So
the
I'm
cases are not cheap either. So like if you do
heard,
one case,
and the weight.
yeah. If
Yeah.
if you get one case and you know you're spending whatever, depending on what size you get, like $200 to $300 on a case, and then you're putting a diorama in that, and then you only have a limited amount of figures in that, it's like it would get costly, and it takes up a lot of room when you start doing that. You know what I mean? But yeah, there's a lot you can do. That is a nice thing, is like they're versatile, and like they're really nice because like I have these like back half shelves in mine, so like these shelves where you can like stack figures and like have them down low and up high, so it adds a good amount of depth. You can pack a lot into them, and they display really well. But I can see why somebody wouldn't want that too, you know. Yep. I'll always love the DTOFs for sure. Peyton says Karen Anakin. Yeah, that was good.
And there's nothing wrong with Maju Case or anything like that. Like, I don't hate them. I think they look good just for my taste. And like, weirdly enough, my wife likes these too. She'd rather prefer me to have these, so it's just kind of a bonus. But yeah, maybe one day I'll have like a diverse display. Like, I'll have my main stuff in cases like this, and then if I want to build more into, like you said, and build out like a movie poster thing or diorama, those would definitely fulfill the need for that, or would look good to fill that vision.
Yep, 100%. Yep, it's all about what speaks to you as far as, yeah. I feel like the majority of people, yeah, anyways, have detofs. It's either detofs or module cases, or garage shelves are another obviously really good option. Even like people who, like I know Zio, he does a lot. He has like a lot of his stuff displayed on shelf, like floating shelves. I think that looks great too. Like I know some people are like, I want any dust getting on my stuff, which I get that, but at the same time, like it's not that hard to dust some stuff if you had some stuff out. Like you have stuff out on top of your detofs, I'm sure like you have to dust every once in a while, but I don't think it's really necessarily like that big of a deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got these shelves to the right of me here that have all my Legos and all the other knickknacks. So yeah, dusting.
Yep. Gotta dust it is what it is. Usually I just take an air compressor. I take an air compressor to
I
stuff.
have that too.
Yeah,
Yep.
I have like air compressor with like a little attachment that's like you can like spray off electronics and stuff with it. Like that's usually what I use. Makes it a lot more simple than trying to like actual like use a rag and stuff to dust it. You just spray it.
Yeah.
Spray it off your figures.
Yep, that and Swiffer's my best friend.
Yep, Swiffers. Yep. Let's see here. We'll get to the next question. What is something you want to improve upon as a collector, if anything?
This is why I was gonna say posing. Like I said,
Yeah.
I think I'm good, but I just see some people and it's insane some of the stuff that people do. I think I want to elevate like how I display more, like maybe getting into those backgrounds. Just anything I can do to elevate the display is something I would definitely want to improve on as a collector, like how to present these and tell my own story to somebody coming in.
Yeah, 100%. I'm trying to think like, yeah, posing is just, I feel like I see poses on people's like on Instagram all the time, and I'm just like, wow, what am I doing over here with these, like some of these poses that I got these figures in? It's just crazy.
I know, right? And I want to get into like the lighting. Like I see some people have those CCFLs. I want to try those. As far as these lights I have now, they were given to me. Some of them have yellowed, so I definitely plan on eventually upgrading to Luke light. But the problem with that is they recommend like buying all at once, so I kind of have to purchase for all of these all at once.
If you want to strip,
time.
Have you ever seen them in person?
The Luke lights?
Yeah.
No, just
I have an extra strip. Like I have a strip if you want to see like actually how they are. We can chat. I could mail it to you. I have like literally an extra strip that because I had a problem with one of my orders.
I have this one that's not lit, so that'll be perfect.
Oh yeah, I'll send you. I can. We'll chat about it. I can get you. There's like that's what I had in my like I had Luke lights in all my detofs. I had one issue like when I ordered them. For some reason, I think it was just really bad luck. Like I had all the ones I had were fine. And then I got one that like the solder was just like, and I don't know anything about soldering, or else I probably would have just done it myself, but it was like hanging on barely by a thread and it broke off. And then I was like, hey, I need a replacement. And like, I got another pack and it was the same exact thing in the one he sent me. And then I was like, hey man, like this happened again. And then he sent me two in a packet. So he's like sent me 2 more lights. So their customer service is really good.
That's good.
But like I have a set if you want to actually see like how they look.
Yeah, I like how it matches the color of the DTOF and the tinier zip ties, and like it's got a diffuser for the like. I think it's pretty cool that way. I wouldn't have to build because it's kind of janky here if I move. My brother did this custom like deodorant because one of the DTOFs came from his, and it's the only one with it. So yeah, I definitely want to change these out because some have yellowed.
Yeah,
that has that, and then this one's not even lit. So
you can get like
place with lighting right now.
Do you have like it looks like? Do you have any aluminum channels in yours? Like the things that the lights like sit in?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I want. That's why I like the Luke lights because they got those deodorant like to make. So you don't see those LED individualities.
Gotcha. I didn't hear you say that part, but yeah, and then you can put like these little covers on them and stuff. Yeah, like the little light diffuser things. It's they're nice. You like the aluminum channels, like you could probably get them in the States somewhere too, because I'm pretty sure I want to say they ship from Singapore. But yes, those are Luke lights are nice. they're really nice. The cables I really like because they're the exact color, and all the zip ties they give you are the exact color of
Mm-hmm.
the color of the gray inside the
Yeah, it's a
DTOF.
really
Yeah,
clean look.
yeah, yep. They're
Yeah,
really yeah. I was
because
gonna say you
these got
probably know
this
all this
big
already, but
box too. Yeah.
yeah, let's say you probably
The
know all
other,
this.
I will ask you this since you know, because I don't even know, and I've never really researched. When you put them in, can you raise shelves? Because some of my shelves are risen for these things. Are they long enough
You
for
can
that, or they have to have the glass on the shelf?
you could probably raise them slightly. I want to say
Mm.
like there's a little bit of you probably wouldn't be able to move them too much. There's a little bit of play, like
See, that sucks because like I just got in this Avengers Hulk. That was gonna
mhm.
be one of my pieces. I was gonna say was like
You should say yeah. I'll send you the ones I have, and then you can just mess with them, whatever. But
my
you can like
favorite, and
because
I had to raise it
I think
high.
if you put them on and you didn't zip tie them down right away, you could probably
Hmm.
play with the leveling of your shelves a little bit to where because like there's enough play in the wire to probably maneuver them a little bit. As far as how much you're gonna get out of that, it's so hard to say.
Yeah,
Because like I just zip
yeah.
tied them all down so they were perfectly flush. But I'm looking at mine, like you could probably move them maybe a little bit. But you'd have to see. It's a really good question, yeah, because I know like a lot of people fluctuate their shelving heights and stuff to fit certain things in
If
there.
not,
But
it may not even work
um,
for me.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, they're nice. They're good. Good lights. Deanna Brancato says I love the C Frank, which I think is on Amazon.
Hmm.
6-pack is very good
Heard
price.
of those too.
Yeah, I think those are like another really common one. Might be worth checking out.
And I heard they're good price, but I think when I went to look, it was basically about the same as what
Yeah,
I
similar.
paid for. So I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
might as well go with what I like
yeah.
better as far as a visual aesthetic. But if I'm gonna have a problem running into that length, I might have to check those out too.
You could always reach out and ask them too. Some of
Mm.
them message them on Facebook and ask them. But anyways, yeah, good option for sure. Eric says I might be getting some Billy bookcases from IKEA. Yeah, the Billies look
Yep.
nice too. People put like the Billies and then they put the door like I know some people put the glass like cab like the doors on them and stuff. But
I know
if you
you got to
even
be
if you don't,
careful with that because they've changed some stuff
mm-mm.
with those.
Yeah, I never. The Billies are a little more pricier uh, than if you get into like some of the other options, but also,
Yeah,
but DTOFs also aren't cheap anymore.
yeah,
DTOFs went up in price,
I
over
know.
doubled in price of
I'm gonna
what I
be
paid for them in the
sad when I
past.
gotta get more of them.
Yeah, yeah, um,
There's always people selling on the secondary.
yeah. I was
It's
gonna
just
say you
about if
probably
I
find.
trust it or not.
Yeah, yep, yep. Let's get to the next question here. This is one I'd like to ask people who have a significant other. How do you navigate collecting with them? You know, it sounds like you kind of hinted already to kind of talked about, you know, how like you said she collects like some Funko type stuff, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, how do you want to go about answering this one here?
I definitely want to say she is actually quite amazing with it. She can get on to me sometimes about it. Like she humbles me for sure, but she's also understanding at the same time, especially if it's an exclusive piece. She knows what the hobby means to me. She encourages me. She actually encouraged me to start my channel a little bit and like get serious into it. And even in the collection, like I said, we collect Disney. She has her own two shelves here at the bottom. So yeah, it's the bottom, but I think she's pretty happy and super grateful that she's in here and that a piece of her stuff is in here. So she's got all her little knickknacks and Disney stuff in here. And then sometimes I'll find her in here when I'm not. Like she's sat in here before. She thinks it's all really cool. She's not super into it like I am,
Yeah.
but and she never knew about it, but it is really neat and she likes showing it just as much as I do. So I'm super thankful that I have a spouse who is understanding and willing. And yeah, she just reminded me there she actually has a few figures. She has Sansa from Games of Thrones. She has Ahsoka Tano, the Clone Wars figure.
Nice.
Um, I think there's one more, but I'm forgetting. But I know those two for sure. So yeah, yeah, it makes me very very grateful to have her and be able to be in that position because I know I've heard from some of the guys, some around, like how hard it is or hiding things, and thankfully I don't have to do that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like, it's always good to have a supportive significant other, period, for more things than just collecting. But yeah, it's really cool. I feel like, and people I've talked to on the past show too, like, it's just like any other hobby that people have. You know, it's a kind of a niche hobby, unique hobby that obviously that we're into, and some people would think is crazy. But at the same time, I feel that way about some stuff that other people do that I'd be like, there's no way I would ever do that. So I feel like it's just, if it makes you happy, it's something you enjoy doing. You know, there's people out there who go and buy boats and cars and
Yep.
things like that. And you buy one of those and you're spending more than what an entire collection costs. You know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean? So like sometimes over double of what a collection can cost when you buy something like that. So in the grand scheme of things, I feel like it's a pretty, you know, it's not that crazy compared to some other things you could get into. And I feel like a lot of people who are into collecting, I mean, I guess I don't know, but I feel like I can see how collecting and, you know, being in this hobby could keep you out of trouble as well, as far as
Yeah.
like not getting into going down paths that yeah, just aren't good. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'll be super transparent as well. Like sometimes it's, you know, not easy and you have to communicate with your significant other. You know, especially I know myself because I'm so into this, I can get a little bit greedy sometimes, and I try to allow her to be able to do the things she wants. You know, you got to try and find a balance there to not keep it 100% about you, and I
Yeah.
have to include her. So if there like is someone like, hey, I did this for me, and I've been doing this, and I've been getting stuff. Why don't you do something for yourself? So I try to do that every now and then as well.
Good man. You're a good man. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
That's all we can try to be.
Yeah, so we can try to be good people. Reese says, but does she have mall? This just made me chuckle.
I got
Uh,
a question for him.
yeah.
Which mall does he have?
Oh,
What's
he's
better,
got
the
them
Hot
all.
Toys or the Sideshow?
He's
He
got
has
all
them
the.
all.
Reese, do you have the side? I don't know if Reese has a sideshow one, but so he's got all three Hot Toys ones.
Oh
So he's
man,
got Solo, yeah, Solo, Phantom Menace, and Clone Wars.
yeah, I have them all, but it's the Sideshow one, and I only say that because I think it's the better sculpt of them all. Like the Hot
Yeah.
Toys one, I like it, but I feel like he's a bit too dark for my taste, and then they weirdly etched like the tattoos in them, and I know
Mm-hmm.
the super stickler of me to like pick at that, but like I know tattoos aren't actually like that engraved into some. So I don't know. I just feel like the Sideshow one just it's a better likeness to Ray
Yeah,
Park,
there's a lot of people who think that. Reese
but
would
I bet
probably disagree.
yeah,
But
I bet the bodies on the Hot Toy, and I know the paint apps on the lightsabers are way better on the Hot Toys. Like I wish mine could light up, and I wish I had the speeder bike and stuff like that.
yeah, the
But
speeder's really dope.
I don't.
He's
I
probably one
only
of my
like the
favorite Post
sculpt.
figures. Yeah. Yeah. But the sculpt makes a big difference. You know, if you don't like the
Yeah,
sculpt, and
and I wasn't in when they were selling them, so I missed, and that's why I just opted for Sideshow.
yep. Yep. Uh, yep. Very cool. Miami's Nemesis says it's therapeutic for us. 100%. 100%.
It is.
Let's, yeah.
There's literally not a moment I come in here and I'm like mad or upset. Like I can just look at it and see my childhood. I can look at it and like think of a moment in a film, and it's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Quiet your mind and
Sometimes in the morning I wake up and I come down here and like just turn on my figure lights and like drink coffee in the morning while I'm waking up and just sit in front of my collection
and
in
it
the chair.
sounds crazy, but
Yeah,
literally before I
yeah,
go to bed, sometimes I'll just pop in, hit the light switch, and
yeah.
I'll be like,
Zen,
yeah,
just yeah,
that's it.
check it out. Like I was actually having a conversation with my wife about this. I was like, could you imagine like what people would think about what people would think about this if like you just told them like some random people about this.
I know,
Another thing
right?
is like another thing I like to bring up is I could send you a picture of this too, but I was telling my wife about like I finally I had like a brand new Qui-Gon that I opened, and like the robe, all where his hair was sitting and stuff, like the robe was
Cool.
all stained up. It wasn't horrible, but it was stained
I
to
have
the
a
point.
trick for you on that.
Yeah, so I ended up getting it out.
Oh, okay.
But I would actually love to hear your trick. But so but like I have a picture of like just I have a picture of like the head sculpt off and then a fan on the figure and the figure standing there like with the fan blowing on it to dry it out, because like I tried so many things. Like tried washing it with like baking soda and water on the tunic. I tried I think that might have been the main thing that I tried at first. The thing that got it out though was a Tide to Go pen, which you have to be really, really careful with on certain fabrics. But that's what I
Yeah,
got. That's what I got the stain out
I'm
on
not
my
laughing
Qui-Gon.
at you about that. I'm laughing because I wear white sometimes, and my wife has to constantly carry a to-go pen because
Yep.
I can get messy, and those are the biggest like lifesaver. They get
Yep.
everything out, like no joke. So I believe you when you say
You
that.
have to be really careful with Tide to Go pens though, because when you like Tide to Go, it doesn't truly like eliminate. It's not like a stain eliminator. What it
Hmm.
does is it like breaks apart the stain. But sometimes though, if you don't get it, if you don't like, because what I was doing is like I'd scrub it in and then I'd like dab it with a paper towel to absorb the liquid like really
Right.
quickly. So I'd dab it in there, brush it, and then absorb it with a paper towel, like push it on there, because the stain like breaks apart, but it can create like a ring. So like if
Yeah,
you're
I've
not
seen
careful
that
enough, yeah, you know
before.
how like on your white clothes, like
Yeah,
sometimes
like
like you
you'll
can see
see a
the ring.
yellow or something like that. Yeah, yeah.
So I was just like really like I got pretty much all of it out with the Tide to Go pen, but I was like, if this doesn't work and it messes it up more, I'm just gonna sell it. But it ended up getting it out, and then I was telling my wife the next morning, I was like, yeah, I was up to like 11:30. Like I spent like 45 minutes getting these stains out of my Qui-Gon because I tried baking soda. I said everything I said, and I was like, can you imagine like what the hell people would think about me telling them this story right now if
Oh
they like
no.
weren't a collector? I just thought it was
Yeah.
hilarious. That's probably the most I've gone to try to like the depth that I've gone to try to like save something.
Yeah.
But um
I feel like people get freaked out when I try to explain what it is, and I'm like, it's basically like a miniature person, like in your in your room. But I was like, these sculpts are so lifelike, it might
yep,
as well be.
yep, yep, 100%. I just want to give a shout out to Andreas is here. Hey, Sneaker. Hey, Mattis. Hey, y'all. Welcome. I just got out of The Creator. Really good sci-fi movie. Definitely recommend. Yeah, it's from like Gareth
Seen the
Edwards, who
trailers.
did Rogue One, right? I want to see this. I want to see this movie for sure. Um, Boba has a funny question here. So, like, do you ever have Hot Toys in their shippers on the UPS truck to deliver it and get tempted to open them and check them out? Do you
I
ever
don't.
see Hot Toys that like? Do
I
you ever
do.
see these?
I do. There's a few collectors on some of the route that I do, and then the neighbor route to me. There's this guy who collect, and he also sells a lot too. So I'll either pick up a lot of stuff, or I'll be at the store and I'll see what he's shipping or whatever. But I'm not really tempted to open them.
I
I
was
am
gonna say
tempted to steal their codes though. No, I'm just kidding.
the 10% off.
Yeah, no.
Why won't my QR code work?
Most times I can just read the label and I'm like, I know what that is. Um, uh, what else was I gonna say? Oh, what I do is if it's a new person that I see getting a Hot Toys, I do try to knock and make sure they get it, just because I'm
That's nice of
biased to
you.
the hobby and I know how I would want it, and I kind of sometimes strike up a conversation, like see if they're if they do have a bigger collection, if it's their first one. So yeah, if
Wow,
they
that
don't
is very
answer,
cool.
I just still try to leave it like in a good spot. I try to take better care of those packages than anything else, believe it or not.
That's nice of you, man. Andrea says my postman is a collector. We always talk about our collections. Man, I wish my postman was a collector. That'd be so cool.
My
Um,
guy's not a collector. He knows of them. So when he comes here, and when he handed me my DeLorean, he was like, "I just need you to sign for your time machine." It was pretty cool.
that's cool. Joey says, "What's the weirdest thing that has happened to you at UPS?"
It has
Oh
been
man.
so many years. I don't even. I don't even know one that sticks out. There's a lot more annoying with customers uh, than weird, I would say. And those are mostly just like we got these things called call tags where you do well, my wife's right about that, where you do these return you do these returns. We bring the label to pick up their package, and some people for some reason have it that if they put it together they can send it back like that. Like I've had people try to return treadmills as is, like fully built, um,
Like
fully
not
built.
not boxed up or anything.
Yeah, just
Oh,
just opens
jeez.
the, like, oh, it's in the garage, and then they open the garage and they're like, here it is, and I'm like, I can't take that. They're like, don't you disassemble it? Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
there's a lot of stuff.
They literally tell you
Uh,
right on the return instructions. A lot of times, like if I usually what I do, I mean, you can give me some feedback on this. Usually, what I do is like, because I know you guys bring a label if you're picking
yep,
it up. So usually, what I'll do is I'll write like the last four numbers of the tracking number, or
perfect.
I'll write on there like Amazon return with a Sharpie, and I'll put track last four tracking 1 2 3 4, and then set it right on my
Exactly.
porch. That's what I usually do.
That's what I do. That's what I tell all my
Yeah.
customers. It's the easiest thing because
Yep.
if we're going up, I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes you could see the package. I don't know if it was delivered there. I don't know
That's I don't
if
want anything
like
any of my
you
other stuff
placed it
taken.
out there
Yep.
or you're leaving it to decontaminate. Like there's lots of things that people
Yep.
do nowadays.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, I always just try to tell people if you're not home, you could always leave it out. Have the note on it. Last four tracking makes it super easy.
Yep. Good. I'm a good customer.
Yeah, you
Uh,
are.
I need them to I just need them to refund me for my lost eBay package claim that I'm going through right now. That's a whole nother story, but anyways, nice. That was good. Fun conversation. Talking about that stuff. Let's see. Let's get to the next question here. What figure, this is kind of a newer question I haven't asked too many people, but what figure would you show someone to highlight your 1/6 scale collection? Or you can talk about, you maybe give a 1/6, but if there's another piece in your collection you feel like would be worthy too as well, you can share that too.
1/6 wise, I feel like I go back to what I was saying, like in my top threes, like those detailed
Yeah.
figures right now, because I'm on a high, because I just I just got it from a buddy. Is that Avengers Hulk, the Bruce Banner 2 pack? But it's the
Ooh,
regional
nice.
premium, so it's got like the diorama and the building pieces with it. It is so massive.
That
Like
is cool.
I don't even can't even comprehend, and just the presence that it brings to the display. Like all these are cool. I like showing anybody that or showing any one of them that maybe lights up, like an R2 or something like that. Anything that does something like an Iron Man because he's so heavy and he's die cast. Uh, yeah, just stuff like that. I think definitely I show everybody at least an Iron Man so you get an idea of the weight, like how realistic they can be.
I need
And
to
I
get an
show
Iron
the
Man.
the lights. Yeah. Oh, there's nothing like unboxing an Iron Man, man. Like with the foam packaging it comes with, like it's a pretty
Yeah.
sweet deal.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm only gonna get one. Like that's it.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
That's all I
What one
need.
do you
That's
have?
all I'll ever get. The 85. And I almost got the battle damage, but I figured he's not like that all the time, and everybody does that classic snapping pose.
Yeah.
But the clean version also comes with that hand, like the nano gauntlet that you can do it with. And I just figured, like, if I'm gonna only have one Iron Man, I want him to at least look his best. So I
Yeah.
just ended up
I'm more
going
of a clean
clean
would want the
85.
clean one as well. I know a lot of people get battle
Yeah,
damage. I'm either gonna get the 85 or the Mark III. Is the other one like the original, just from like the
yeah.
original movie, that like one that they just released, a 2.0 that they just released. Oof. It's so
I'm
hard to
really
choose.
hoping. Yeah, I'm really hoping they go further into like the 2012 stuff, like redoing those as a 2.0. Because I'm kind of just doing the main Avengers for my Marvel
Yeah.
display, but I've kind of had a little bit of different iterations. I think I mostly have them from 2012, but uh, like the Black Widow, I don't really want her in 2012 because it doesn't look that great. I think they need to update that one,
Yeah.
and then Thor as well. I would need a Thor still, Thor and Black Widow. And then I think I'm pretty much set on uh, that Marvel side of things, other than the Spidey stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I have one Spider-Man. I'm going to be getting the black suit from the game. Spider-Man 2, the
Oh,
black
okay.
the this
Yep. My
yeah,
only Spidey is Andrew Garfield has him
nice.
too. So and
Nice.
then I just said I would get all the villains I can, and they would go with that
Yeah,
Spidey.
nice. Yeah. So you're not a full on like you need to get every variation of Spidey collector.
No, I'm not
Yeah.
a full on. I have to get every iteration of anything. To be
Yeah.
honest, I
Yeah.
collect what I want
Yeah. Yeah,
from
that's
certain
a
things.
yeah, that's exactly how I am. Like anything, well, Star Wars, I'm not as picky, but outside of Star Wars, like I'm really selective about what I'm like. It's going to
Yeah,
be one version of certain characters, and that's pretty much going to be that.
yeah.
But yeah,
Like Star Wars, I got my prequels. I have to have 1 through 3. That was the only one where I'm like, I would probably get everything from those. And then as far as the original trilogy, besides Ben Kenobi, I only have Return of the Jedi stuff. That's my favorite film out of the original trilogy,
mm,
so that's the one I stuck with. And then I go into Episode 7. I just got Ray and Kylo. I do want that 2 pack of the Trooper and Finn, and then I'll be done with that.
what Ray
Um,
do you have? Do you have like the scavenger Ray?
she's Yeah, the two
Yeah, the
pack with
figure's dope.
BB-8, but I
Yeah,
put the what's the outfit she wears? It's gray and white. Is that the training one?
yeah,
It's
like
my
the
favorite
Last
outfit of
Jedi, like
hers.
the Jedi training outfit.
I put that outfit on her.
Oh,
So
nice,
I have
nice.
that with BB-8 and then Kylo. And then I do love The Mandalorian, but I didn't go deep with that. I just got Mando and Grogu, and that's
Yeah,
it.
I
That's
got
all
you.
I need represented for Mando because he was like the big guy, and I got the chrome one. I waited on it, so that's like my definitive Mando.
Got to get that Mando Luke, man.
And then I think, yeah, I got
You got to
Return
get
of the
that.
Jedi, so I was like, yes, it's right there, and
That Mando
it
Luke is
completes
so
my
good, dude.
Return of the Jedi one. But yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen it. It's tempting, you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah,
especially with all the poses I've seen people do with that one for sure.
yeah. Um, yeah. Awesome, man. Choice says get the battle damage. Yeah, I don't want the battle damage. See, the Mark III that just came out doesn't have swappable battle damage pieces too, I think. Um, so I feel like I'd want something like that. If you can swap them and like change the plates out potentially, that would be cool. My name is
Man,
Nemesis says, wish Hot Toys had a checklist. Yeah, I have my own running checklist of things.
yeah, I
um,
have a list in my notes of things that I want, and I
yep.
just delete them as I collect.
Yeah, that's a really good idea to keep something. Like usually there's like I forget the forum. I think it's like Collector Freaks or something. I don't know if you've ever
There
seen
is,
that. Yeah, like I think it's Collector Freaks, but they have like a Hot Toys Star Wars ones that I use. Like they have the pictures of all the like the head sculpts and they update it every time they announce something. But usually what I'll do is like I have those pictures saved on my phone and then I like if I know I'm not gonna get it, I'll just scratch it out. If I have it, I'll scratch it out. And then like I can
right.
kind of keep that as a list too. Um,
And it
but yeah.
doesn't help. I've strayed off the list of what I thought of, but that's because Hot Toys has announced something I didn't think they would, and I was
Yep.
like, "Oh, I have to
Ever
have
ever
that."
evolving. Ever evolving.
Yeah.
Um oh, let's see here. We have one more question. So chat, if you guys have any other questions, please get them in here. This question, the last one I have for you is what is your most important piece of advice to give to other collectors?
I think I will kind of reiterate the same thing I said earlier, and that is to enjoy the journey. Enjoy what you're collecting, what you're bringing in. Getting the time to pose it as well or even interact with it because we live on that high where you open it, put it on the shelf, goes at kind of out of mind, and you're basically on to the next. I know I've gotten stuck in that, and I kind of have to remind myself that it's more about the journey. Like just setting your own pace. Don't feel like you have to rush. Don't feel like you have to get everything. If you can afford everything, then ignore everything I just said. But but that's basically the biggest piece I would say is just be smart about it. Really think about it, because you see a lot of times too where people go in too deep too fast and then have to sell off, or they take a look back and they're like, oh, I didn't really need that, or I don't really like that, and I have it because I thought it was cool at the time, and then maybe you fall out of it. And yeah.
Yep. 100%. Try to really think about it, because it's a lot. I talk about in the past shows I've talked about too, like it kind of desensitizes the dollar a little bit when you buy a lot of figures and you start talking about like Hot Toys dollars. But it's really easy when like it basically becomes, if you see something for around or under $200, you're like, oh, that's cheap. It becomes cheap in your mind. Like, oh, that's cheap. That figure's cheap. Like I might, then you're tempted to like, tempted to get deals on things that are like, it just gets skewed for something that like, and then you think, oh, maybe you want something that's newer that might be more 250, 300 or something like that. But you're like going for the cheaper $150, $200 deal when you could put that money right towards something newer that you probably want a little bit more. It's a never ending battle. Never ending battle.
Yeah, and we're all guilty of certain things at the end of the day. We all kind of repeat the same habits, or we buy it to do whatever. But just at the end of the day, it's whatever makes you happy anyways. It's your collection. You can do with whatever you want. You can put whatever figures you want, whatever figures. It's basically, my buddy says, your world.
Yep. 100%. That is the last question I have. Is there anything else you would like to say before we wrap up here? Anything at all? Any other tidbits? Any other things you'd like to share about yourself as a collector?
Just thanks to everybody who tuned in. Without them, the show wouldn't be possible. We wouldn't be talking. Wouldn't be creating content if it wasn't for this. So I always kind of give it back to the audience. I really appreciate, and I always love talking with people in the comments and meeting new collectors and getting to chat. So having this moment here too has been pretty cool. I love talking with other collectors and getting their insights as well.
Yeah, nice, man. I hope you enjoyed the show. It's always fun having people on, and I really enjoyed talking to you. Chat, awesome.
Hope there's other shows we can
man, we can definitely
see each other again.
Would love to link up in the future for sure. I'm sure we'll be chatting if you think if I'm a cool enough guy,
Yeah, I mean, I subbed to the channel, so
appreciate it, man. I think I've been subbed to your channel. I think probably early on when I first started collecting, I kind of knew about you. Mostly like I think I saw your stuff, and then I think like Hot Toys Hotline, I had known about that show. Kind of lurked on that show I kind of still lurk on a lot of stuff. I try to like comment. I try to comment. I try to like comment in chats and be active when I can, but usually there's a lot going on. A lot of times I'm only able to like turn on shows and listen. I can't like sit down. I don't have a lot of time to just sit down and watch stuff.
Even if I don't get to like the comment or whatever, I'm kind of always listening, especially driving in that truck. Like I consider these like my podcast. So even though I'm not watching like your guys' faces or talking, I'm like, I got my AirPods in and I'm just driving while listening to collecting. So I kind of listen to basically everybody. Any 6-scale YouTuber you can think of, I've probably tuned in to the channel for sure.
It's pretty cool. It's nice, like people in the chat, or like I've talked to some people who've been like, when are you doing the next episode of Collector Tour? Like people seem to enjoy the show, so that's really cool. So chat, appreciate you all being here as always. Hope you guys enjoyed the show after being off of this show for like I said, like I think around a month-ish. So had a really good time. Chris, thank you so much for being on, man. It was really a pleasure talking to you, and great show. Really appreciate it. Is there anything you want to plug for your channel? I know I said kind of earlier on, but for the people who didn't hear, congratulations on 1,000 subs on YouTube.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
It's really exciting. A big accomplishment. So congratulations there. Like I said, you guys, you can sub down to Collecting Madness and follow him on Instagram. Instagram and YouTube links are in the description below. I put them in there. They should be working. But is there anything you got coming up on the channel? Anything you want to talk about before we sign off here?
Yeah, only a couple things. So I do have, like I mentioned, that Hulk. I'm in the process of like editing that, getting that whole sorted, so that will be the next video on the channel. As far as what I already have, it's a Kate Bishop figure, so she's on the channel, and that video is also a giveaway to anybody listening. It ends the 14th, or at least that's when I'll announce the winner. So on the 14th, so here in a few days. But if you just watch that video, like the video, subscribe, and then comment, you comment whatever you want. You can even say you hate me. You'll still be entered to win the giveaway, and international people will pay shipping. And if you're in the US, it's free on me. But I figured I would start with that for 1K for now. I do want to do something bigger for 1K, since it's a little bit bigger achievement. Trying to get something in the works, but for right now, I didn't even mention what it was. It's a Trapper Wolf helmet by Black Series.
Yeah, nice.
So that's the Dave Filoni helmet, whatever.
Very
so
cool.
that's, if you want a chance to win that, go check out that Kate Bishop video. The details are all in there as well.
Very cool, man. Yeah, congrats again. Yeah, I'm not going to join the giveaway, but very cool that you're doing it. somebody else can win. I try to stay out of the giveaways for other content creators for the most part.
Anybody can join it. Don't.
Yeah, that's all good. Somebody will enjoy that
But
helmet.
I try to do the same thing.
Yeah. Unless I really want it, I'm like, oh, I actually kind of want this.
Yeah, it depends on what it is.
Really want it. I don't know if I don't even know where I could put that helmet. I have helmets like just sitting around right now in my basement too.
You just slide in the DMs and like slide a $10.
Yeah, yeah. Give me some extra entries into the raffle.
Yeah.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Collector Joey for putting in the links to our stuff in the chat. So I appreciate you, Joey, for doing that.
Yeah.
I just want to do
so much, man.
Yeah. Really appreciate it, Joey. I just want to do a quick plug for a company that I get a lot of my figures for. Chris, have you gotten anything from Underground Figures? Do you know about that company?
I've heard of them in other like maybe one other stream, but
where do you live?
Maryland.
So Underground Figures is a company that like I kind of partnered with. They're like they're from Rhode Island, but the website's undergroundfigures.net. It's a really nice website, like a really nice place to buy from. They have really good customer service. Usually their prices are 5% below like MSRP, so whatever Sideshow is, they're 5% off. And then depending on where you live, like the tax situation, as far as I don't know for sure for other states, but it depends on where you live as far as whether or not you have to pay tax online.
Right.
There's some things that are beyond me when it comes to that, but 5% off. That everything's double boxed.
Nice.
So if it's like East Coast, like sometimes ordering from West Coast, it takes longer, but they're East Coast, double box. And then if you make an account and you want to pre-order something, like they have no NRD pre-orders. So you can just basically email them and just say, hey, yeah, it's really nice. You just email them and say like, hey, put me down for a pre-order for whatever figure. And then they do like they'll email you back confirming your pre-order. Yeah. You're added to a list, and then you get invoiced when the product comes in. So something to check out if you guys haven't. Like I said, great company. Ray is the owner, super nice guy, really responsive to emails. They ship really quickly when they do get stuff in. So just a really cool place to shop. Like to give them a little plug because I work with them quite often, and want to shout out a good business. So with that being said, Chris, thank you so much again, man. Appreciate you coming onto the show. Great to have another collector tour episode in the books. I don't really have, you guys can catch me on Wolfpack Wednesdays. That's tomorrow, so I'll be back tomorrow. Wolfpack Wednesdays over on the Jedi Knights Watch channel. Always a great stream, fun stream to do. And then I'm thinking of potentially adding in another live stream in the future. We'll see. There's some other content I have planned. I don't want to get into it too much right now. I did just drop a top 10 Star Wars figures in my collection video that you guys can check out on my channel. And then my collection tour is up if you guys haven't seen it already. With that being said, guys, thank you all so much. For some reason, my outro disappeared. I don't have my outro slide, so we're just gonna like end it like this. But I appreciate you all. Thank you all so much, and we will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.